Hi all, Ben here from Yfinance, bringing you another video in our Python for Finance for Python Beginners series. So in this video we're going to change gears a bit and we're going to look at grabbing some fundamentals from Yfinance. So let's start in the utilities subfolder of our Python codes folder and start a new project. So once again I'll go in and fill out all the headings. So first we've just got to import the libraries. So we just need to import Yfinance as YF and import Pandas as PD. So a quick note here that if you haven't already done so, then pip install Yfinance like this. I made a bit of an error, an oversight by me. If you haven't installed Yfinance, then you just need to do pip install Yfinance, run that. Now, if you already had Yfinance installed, there's just something we need to do here. If you've had Yfinance installed for quite some time, we might just want to check the version that you're running, because if you're not running a more up-to-date version, when I was just going through this program, I was having problems because I was running an old version of Yfinance. So what we do is we just type in YF dot, and then that is just two underscores back to back together, and then version, and then another two underscores back to back. So if you type that in and just run that cell, hopefully you'll get that, something like that. If it's too early, you may have to just quickly upgrade your package. So to do that, you will just need to type in pip install Yfinance, and then there's one space, then a double minus sign, and then just upgrade. And if you run that cell, it should, I've already obviously upgraded, but it should bring you up to date with everything that you need. So if you did need to do that step, then what I'd suggest you do is to just comment this out, and then literally just restart and rerun the program, and that should sort you out. Just make sure that we're printing this version. I'm just recording this at the start of 2023, so that's the latest version that we've got. Okay, now we've got that out of the way, let's get on with actually doing something. So let's grab some fundamentals. So in order to grab the fundamentals, you just need to type in yf.ticker with a capital T, and then you just need to enter in the same way as when we download data. We just need to enter in the company that we're looking at. So for today, I'm just going to look at Google. So I'll put in that, and then I'll just simply type in .info, and then I will run this cell. Now this will take a little while because it's grabbing a fair bit of stuff. Okay, so what it's brought up here is it's basically we got a description of the company, of what it does, and as we scroll down, we can see we've got a fair bit of information here. Fair bit of fundamental information, and this is all being held within a dictionary. So we want to start to organize this data so we can see what's relevant to us. So firstly, let's just name the dictionary. So I'm just going to name this dictionary literally Google. Okay, if we run that cell, then that's assigned. Now if we actually just type in GOOG and run that cell, then that will just bring up exactly what we've done here, but now we've just assigned it, so that's going to come in handy now. So in order to better be able to manipulate that data, let's put it into a data frame. So we just need to put in df equals pd.dataframe with a capital F, then we open the brackets. Now inside this we need to put square brackets because we're dealing with a dictionary, and then just type in GOOG. And then if we just call up the data frame, so if you just put it in like that and run the cell, now we've got all this information is now put into a data frame. We've only got one row, but we've got 154 columns, so we need to do something about that. So we've only got one company, but eventually we're going to want to look at some more companies. So let's see, let's start by making the index something else that's more recognizable. Now if we go back up here to the original dictionary, you can see here that we've got each one of these entries would have created a new column, and we can see here that we've got a column called symbol. So it would be logical to set our index to the symbol. So let's do that. So it's simply a case of df equals df.set_index, and then we set it to symbol, and then we can call up the data frame. And now the index is set to Google. So obviously now we know what's going on in there. So now we've got 153 columns, because remember we've kind of dropped this off and used Google, so we've down to one less column. But a lot of these columns are going to be superfluous to our needs. Now, we could drop everything, but obviously that would take forever. So instead, we can work the other way around and just tell the code the columns that we do want to see rather than the ones that we don't. And we do this by typing in, looks a little bit odd, but df equals df, and then you've got to open two sets of square brackets. Now, just say, for instance, we want to just see the market cap. Now, a bit of a hint here, it's probably best to find the info you want from the dictionary first. And you want to see how it's typed out. And the reason being that if you look at market cap here, everything's in lowercase except for the C, which is actually in a capital. So if you don't type it out exactly as it's been provided for you here, the program's going to have a problem. So I'd almost suggest literally just copying that and then coming back down here, and then we've got to put it in apostrophes, of course, and pasting it, because if you put in market cap, the program's not going to be able to find this exact match in the columns. So it needs to match exactly. So that's why sometimes it's best just to double check how they've listed it in the index and then putting it in here. Now if we run this cell now, we can see that the data frame we've created has only two things in it, the symbol and the market cap. Okay, so let's build on this and go through the process with a few different companies and add some more columns. So let's start by creating a list. So I've just used the FANG list that we've used before, but you can use whichever stocks you want. Now we need to loop through that list. So we create we need to create a blank list to append to. And we just need to set up the loop. So I've just created a blank list here called funder for fundamentals, and then we just need to say for I in the list FANG, we want to append, well, what do we want to append? We want to append the information. So we need to type in, well, we need to tell it to get the information, but of course here, what are we going to put in? We want it to, we're saying for I in FANG, so for each element or entry of the list, for I, so we need you to get Meta, and then list, then get Amazon, then go through again, then get Apple, then go through again, and append it all to our new list. So that's pretty straightforward. That's been covered in other videos. So let's just run this cell. Now this will take a little while because it's got to get all this info and put it into a list for 5 companies. So yours will probably be quicker than mine, but mine will hopefully pop up shortly. Okay, so now that's done, so we can just call up the list funder that we've just made, and what we can see here is that all the information for all those 5 companies is now contained in one list called funder, but they're all within their own dictionary. So we've effectively got 5 dictionaries within inside that list. So now let's just quickly go through the same processes that we went through before. So we need to create a new data frame. So I've just called this data frame tech. Now because we're appending a list, we don't need to do the square brackets because funder is not a dictionary. Funder is a list that contains dictionaries. So we just need to put funder in there and then call up the data frame. So now you can see we've got 5 rows. We've got the 154 columns, but we've got the 5 companies set up in the data frame. So now let's reset the index the same way as we did above, and we can just call up this data frame. Okay, so you can see now this is starting to take shape a little bit more. And so this time, let's just add in a little bit more information to make there's a bit more in this data frame here. So this time around, I've just chosen to show the market cap, the forward PE, earnings quarterly growth, debt to equity, return on equity. So we'll just run this now, run this cell. And so this is what we've got put out. Remember, you could rename this so that it wasn't so wide. You can do whatever you want, but you can see here now that we've got a neat little list with a couple of fundamentals here. I didn't pick these for any particular reason. You can pick whichever you want. So that's it. That's just a simple way to gather some fundamental analysis. So maybe you'd like to combine some fundamental analysis with some technical analysis for a system. So you might like an MA cross, but only if the company has a forward EPS of a certain level, or anything you want. So that's it for this video. See you in the next one. Thanks for watching.